So, I've recently finished my first playthrough of Alien's Fireteam Elite, and to be perfectly honest with you, I kinda love it. But it's kind of a conditional love, in that it comes with a couple of huge caveats. Now, before I get into it, I am going to throw out a spoiler warning. I don't actually know if I'm going to spoil anything yet, I haven't gotten that far into the script, but I thought it best to cover myself anyway, because I know how pissy people in the comments can get if you mention that there's a gun in a shooting game, so consider yourself warned. So Alien's Fireteam Elite is a third-person, squad-based shooter for up to 3 players in the much-loved Aliens universe. I have no idea why it's 3 players and not 4, so I'm going to assume it has something to do with it being a budget game and developer Cold Iron Studios not having the server capacity for teams of 4. There are 5 classes to begin with a 6th unlocked after completion of the campaign, and a 7th that recently released as part of its free Season 1 update. Each class plays a little differently with a selection of weapons and abilities at their disposal that, when used correctly, really make a huge difference between life and death on the battlefield. And that's where Alien's Fireteam Elite's issues begin. Playing Fireteam solo is not fun. It's not bad, but it's not fun. If you play solo, the game spawns into AI android teammates to bolster your fireteam, and they kinda suck. Now, the AI itself isn't bad. They're actually quite competent. They hit targets, they heal when appropriate, they revive you when you're down. They're just fine. However, they don't have a class, meaning they have none of the abilities other human players have. You also miss out on the fun of friendly banter and strategizing with friends, which kind of defeats the point of a game like this. Look, if you enjoy playing wave shooters like this by yourself, then more power to you, but I prefer playing with friends. Or friend, I actually only play this with one friend, and he's flaky as shit. But luckily, when we do get together to play, Alien's Fireteam Elite is fucking awesome. Now, we are both huge Alien nerds, and when we're mowing down hordes of charging xenomorphs or engaging in firefights with rogue androids, Fireteam Elite absolutely nails the feel of the movie Aliens, and also Prometheus. The look and the atmosphere of the levels are amazing, and each time we enter a new area, our jaws would just hit the floor and we turn into 2 kids at Christmas. The sound too captures the feel of the movies perfectly and just creates this experience that to us is Aliens. We get so caught up in the world that we don't even mind how janky the game is at times. In fact, we both agree it adds to the charm and makes it feel closer to the movies. But that's another one of the game's problems. Strip the license and nostalgia away, and what do you have? Honestly, not much. The campaign is split into 12 missions across 4 chapters and a HORDE mode that unlocks after your first campaign playthrough. I've had a couple of rounds on the HORDE mode and it's alright, it's nothing special. It's a HORDE mode. You shoot wave after wave of ever increasingly difficult enemies until you get far enough in to quit out or die. Med packs drop randomly from enemies, and completing waves nets you tokens that can be used at the vending machine to buy consumable items. But it's just one map at the moment, and I can see my interest in the mode running out really quickly. Hopefully Cold Iron Studios add some more maps soon, because it could really do with some variety. The campaign levels themselves are extremely linear, made up of little more than corridors and various sized rooms. It suffers from the same design philosophy as Naughty Dog games, namely, as soon as you enter an area large enough for a huge battle, there's going to be a huge battle. And that's the structure of Fireteam's levels. You move through corridors picking off randomly spawning enemies, enter a big room, push a button, and fight off several waves of enemies. Rinse and repeat for 20 to 40 minutes, then rinse and repeat that for 12 missions. If you take away the alien paint job, what you're left with is 12 incredibly linear levels that all follow a similar pattern to finish. But it's the fact that they're decorated in alien wallpaper why I enjoy them so much, as long as I'm playing with my friend. And really, you have to play with a friend or two to get any sort of real enjoyment out of it, or else you'll be playing by yourself with AI partners, because quite frankly the matchmaking is rubbish. I've tried to play with strangers several times due to my friend being a flaky twat, and I either haven't found anyone and been given AI partners anyway, or people have joined the lobby and then left. Although one time I was playing with my friend and he left for the night, so I kept playing and it put me in a lobby with these two guys. I didn't know that our private party had closed and it had kicked me out and put me into the game chat. This normally wouldn't be a problem, but I was drunk and streaming on Twitch at the time and kept talking about how rubbish my teammates were, blissfully unaware that they could hear me, until I finally heard their mics crackle to life and I died a little on the inside. Anyway, how's the gameplay? It's good. Fireteam Elite is a very competent shooter. The recoil on the weapons feels nice. When bullets hit enemies, it has a really satisfying, crunchy splat feeling. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels how you'd imagine shooting a xenomorph would feel. There are a bunch of weapons to unlock and choose from that are all customizable with colours and decals, and upgraded with muzzles, magazines and sights that give various bonuses to your weapons. These custom bits can be bought from the shop, found in hidden caches in the levels, or given as rewards for successfully beating a mission. As I mentioned before, each class has abilities that can be used on the battlefield, and these can be upgraded and modified on each class's perk grid, where you get to attach perks and modifiers to your abilities to shape your marine around your playstyle. It's limited at first, but as your class levels up, more space on the grid unlocks and more perks become available. It's a nice system, but to be completely honest with you, I don't know how much of a difference it makes to actual combat. That's no fault of the game though. I have the same issue with RPGs that offer small stat percentage upgrades. My brain just isn't wired that way to notice these small differences in statistics that are probably making a huge difference in battle, but it's fun and satisfying to fill up the grid, so whatever. You can customise your marine too, but not a lot. The character creator is very limited, with a masculine or feminine model, then a small selection of faces, hair and colours to choose from. What is cool, however, is you're free to change your character's appearance and gender at any time when you're in the hub area. You can also buy or find hats and different armour for them to wear if you're so inclined. There are two types of currency in Aliens Fireteam Elite. Requisition credits, which are used to buy new weapons and consumable items that can be used to help you out during combat, and rep script, which is used to buy cosmetic items. Thankfully, there are no loot boxes or microtransactions. All requisition credits and rep script have to be earned by playing the game. That can seem like a grind, but there are daily tactical opportunities that once achieved reward you with extra credits and experience, and you can activate challenge cards at the beginning of a mission, which gives you a handicap but rewards you with extra credits. But in my personal experience, some of the handicaps that they put on you just really don't feel worth the effort for the bonus that you get. Also, I know I said that there aren't loot boxes and microtransactions, but there are season passes. These are £8 a pop and give you exclusive cosmetics, emotes, and random challenge cards and all that guff if you want it. They're not essential, but I'm probably going to buy at least the Season 1 pass because it comes with a metal horns and air guitar remote, and I am a proper dickhead for stuff like that. What else? Oh, yeah. This game's buggy as all fuck. Now, I was lucky enough that outside of a bit of stuttering when entering a new area and some janky AI, I didn't really experience anything too bad until the end of the game. The first big one was when my flaky mate's game crashed 5 minutes from the end of the final mission, leaving me to finish said mission on me ones. 2 minutes of pain.
No!
What?
No,
Talk to me.
Just crashed. My game's just crashed.
Has it?
An error has occurred in the following application. Checking error status. Try the following actions. Update. Fuck.
Then another issue was during the second playthrough of that mission, where my frame rate dropped to single digits and became almost impossible to play, as you can see from this painfully unedited footage from my PlayStation 5. Now, I've heard horror stories from other people who have played it and thankfully haven't come across anything game-breaking myself. Another area where the game falls down is in its storytelling. Not the story itself, that's great. I don't know. I can't really speak much to the story, to be honest, and that's my problem with it. There's a lot of dialogue in between missions and I skipped over all of it. If I'm playing a co-op shooter with a friend, I don't want to spend a lot of downtime in between missions. Buying items at the shop and messing about with loadouts is one thing, but sitting through reams and reams of exposition from an NPC with less facial movement than a ventriloquist who had a stroke, I'm not going to do it. Which is a shame, because there is a really good story in here. I mean, there's even a prequel novel that explains the setup of the game, which, yes, I have read, and there's intel to find scattered throughout the missions to bring everybody else up to speed. It does a great job explaining the universe to people who may never have encountered the Alien franchise before, and it does a considerably better job taking the ideas laid out in Prometheus and bringing them into the greater universe than Alien Covenant ever did. I also need to mention the game's difficulty, but I'm fucked if I know how to fit it in naturally, so here we are. Finishing the campaign on casual, standard or intense difficulty unlocks extreme and insane difficulties. I've got to be honest, I ain't touched them. When playing in casual or standard mode, there's no friendly fire, and the Xenos have little yellow outlines so they're easier to see against the terrain. Intense onward adds friendly fire and gets rid of the little yellow glow. Harder to see Xenos is fine, but friendly fire is a real bastard. When the action kicks off, it is far too easy to throw a couple of stray bullets into your teammates. And if you're playing with a demolisher who's using a flamethrower, you can basically get fucked. Friendly fire in extreme or insane mode, fair enough, but forcing it onto what is essentially the hard difficulty just makes me not want to try those difficulties, because I have trust issues and I don't trust my teammates not to be absolute. Aliens Fireteam Elite is a really difficult game to review, in inverted commas. Being a budget game, it lacks any of the polish seen in AAA or mid-tier games. It's linear, janky, painfully dull to play solo, and not much else without the Alien license it's wrapped up in. Yet somehow it's ended up being the best online experience I've had in years. I can see the team behind it have a genuine passion for the universe and the lore. And the care that's gone into the aesthetic and the sound design and everything just reeks of Alien fandom. It's exactly the game that Colonial Marines should have been. It balances enemy variation really well. Before you get a chance to get bored of killing copy-pasted aliens again, it throws in synthetics, and just as you start to miss the little acidic bastards, they're back again, along with a few more surprises. The combat is good. I had no problem ducking in and out of cover when I had to. You always have just enough ammo to get to the next refill. It can be genuinely tense at times, but in the right way. A lot of care and attention has gone into the small things like that, and for me that's where a lot of the fun comes from. It balances feeling like a badass space marine with the sheer horror and panic of being overrun by swarms of aliens almost perfectly. It's far from the best Aliens game there is, but it's quickly becoming my favourite. I know in time the team at Cold Iron Studios will be able to fix the bugs that plague it, and hopefully then word will spread enough to bring more players to populate the servers, which will then make matchmaking possible, which will then make the game more fun for everyone. I just hope the seasonal updates add enough new content to keep me coming back. So, yeah. Aliens Fireteam Elite, have you played it? Are you thinking of giving it a go? Let me know in the comments below, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video whenever that may be.